Kim.com, did he lose the election for you, Chris?
Look, he certainly didn't help the cause of the parties that wanted to change the government, that's for sure. I'm not sure that we can apportion all of the blame at Kim.com's feet, but certainly he didn't help.
What happened? What happened to Labour?
It was a pretty rough campaign. I think we've got to get to the bottom of that. We've lost 3 elections in a row at the moment, and we clearly need to, spend a bit of time thinking quite carefully about
Policy's not discussed. What do you think, Stuart?
Well, I can't talk about what the other parties did, but for National,
No.
we had good policies and ran a disciplined campaign, and we building on a sound economic performance, and just that was laid out.
Did
clearly in our
Kim.com
policies.
help you win?
I don't think Kim.com was relevant to us, actually.
What do you think, Jan?
It's hard to read it, really, but I don't think they helped. There was
Where
a
did
lot
your
of space
15%? Where did your
taken up.
15% go? Right throughout the months, we were hearing 15%. You were going up. You're a stronger, bigger, greener party. Never happened.
No, and
Why not?
Well, you'd have to ask the public of New Zealand that, really. I guess we fought
So
a really hard
you
campaign.
have no clues?
Policy-based. There's
Are you disappointed?
Of course I'm disappointed. We've spent several months campaigning emotionally, really caring about these issues and believing that we offered something for New Zealand of a really positive vision. And the fact that we're not going to get to deliver that vision for New Zealand, I'm proud we kept our vote in an environment that went right, but it is gutting.
All right, what about you? Do you think Kim.com had much of an impact on the election?
Absolutely. Everywhere I went in the Ipsum electorate, people saying to me, when can we get that man out of our country? And I actually had to defend him. Say, look, we have to give him due process and all
What
that.
did you say?
What did I say?
What did you say?
I always say, look...
To defend him?
Well, I always say, look, he deserves due process. We can't just kick him out willy-nilly. That would make us as bad as him.
Kim.com. I asked some of my students at AUT today, whose opinion of Kim.com changed for the worse over the last few months, and most of them put their hand up. Do you think that was a factor?
Yeah, Kim.com was totally a disruptive factor in the election. His moment of truth is more like a moment of spoof. He failed to fire the entire time with any of his claims and just derailed good campaigns like the Greens, who kept on doing what they do best, and took oxygen away from Labour.
Did you feel for some of the internet party people who were trying to do their best to spite Kim.com?
Yeah, Lila was a bit sad at sometimes, and Miriam, was it? She was an outstanding candidate for Auckland Central. And they sort of seem to be tied to his poison. And due credit to Kim.com actually owning up on election night and saying that as well.
Good campaign for you, entertainment-wise?
Oh, I was going hard on the Twitter. Beautiful.
Someone else who goes hard on the Twitter is David Farrer. Hello, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Great to have you here. Dirty politics seemed like it was a big thing. It was all people talked about for 4 weeks. Do you think in the end it had no effect, or how do you think it did play out?
Yeah, look, I think it did have an impact. It helped Colin Craig. It helped Winston Peters. It didn't shift people from the centre-right to centre-left, but I think it did have a few voters go, oh, well, maybe we want to try some of these new parties.
If you're completely honest, let's try that. Were you surprised that, say, the resignation of Judith Collins, all this stuff, didn't have even, the slightest effect on National, really?
No, not particularly, because I think what people liked is that the Prime Minister said, look, this is how I call it. There are serious issues here. We're going to look into them. I think that actually helped National get through it all because people thought there is some accountability there.
Sheer entertainment value, scale of 1 to 10, how does this campaign rate to other ones?
The campaign, probably 7 out of 10. Labour's mega caucus yesterday, 9.9.
Do you think that the dirty politics still has a long tail? Do you think there's still something in there? Or do you think we're over it now?
The thing that worries me about it is that quite all the way through the campaign I heard people say, well, that's just politics. That's how you do politics. And that's something that's frightening, because that's nothing, that is nowhere in my world, that is not consistent with my values or the way I behave or the things I believe in. And I don't know why you would vote for people, anybody, if that's what you thought, how they operated.
What do you think about this, Stuart? Did you read the book at all? Did you read Nikki Hager's book?
No, I was quite busy driving up and down the Kaikoura
Yeah, of
electorate,
course.
Wallace, so I didn't get a lot of time to watch TV or read books,
What
unfortunately.
about you, Chris? What do you think that the impact of dirty politics will be for 2014, the rest of 2014, 2015, if anything?
Oh, I think there's a big challenge for us all to restore faith in politics and politicians. I think that there is an element of plague on all their houses when this stuff comes up. They think that everybody does it. Actually, they don't. But I think that...
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Well, I think that they think that, politics is a dirty business and that people, everyone getting in politics
So
is
Labor don't do
engaging in
anything
this.
dirty?
No, I don't think we do it to that. I certainly don't think that we do some of the things that have been revealed in dirty politics. But what I will say, though, and bear in mind, Richard Nixon was elected with an overwhelming mandate just after the Watergate scandal broke. How did that land up?
Yeah.
So, sometimes these things take time.
Right. What about voter turnout, David Seymour? I mean, what is it? Third lowest voter turnout in the last 100 years. Why? Why do you think?
Oh, look, I can speculate. People were just really, really over it. I suspect that's why there were so many early votes. People wanted to go and put their thing in the box and absolve themselves of having to follow it.
Yeah.
In the last couple of weeks, it was hard to get people interested. We want this over.